I'm joined by Chelsea legend Petr Cech. Had some great battles over the years, didn't we? He normally came out on top, as you would expect. But today we've been asking the Sky Sports followers to provide us with some questions. So, is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Who are your top 3 greatest goalkeepers of all time?
That's already the first question, tough question. But definitely I put Gigi Buffon there. Definitely Neuer will be in there. Ooh. And it's always difficult to leave so many great ones out, but Petr Schmeichel will be my choice there as well. And
in that order, Buffon number 1, Neuer number 2, Schmeichel number 3?
Yeah, I would say, there are 2 World Cup winners, so maybe they just get the nod.
What are the main differences between being a goalkeeper in football and ice hockey?
Well, there are a lot of similarities, which is the way you play the game, the pressure you have on your shoulders, but the angle, the positioning, it's the same principle. You have to be in the right place in the right time, but then obviously the biggest difference is the ice. You wear 20 kilos of equipment, so already physically you need to work on that. But it's mainly the skating, the movement on the ice. That's obviously the biggest challenge. But in terms of the principles of goalkeeping, closing the angles and concentration and all this, it's quite similar.
Toughest striker you played against? Was there someone you feared when you saw the opposition team sheet come in and think, oh?
Well, I never liked to play against Rooney.
No? Why?
Because he was so unpredictable, and as well, he's one of those players who, first, he's intelligent, secondly, he can score in any moment, he can chip you from halfway line, and he runs, so every back pass he's coming. He will not leave anybody on his own. So, yeah, that's one of those you always know, be careful when he's on the pitch.
2 of the biggest managers you played for, I think, are Jose Mourinho at Chelsea, Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, completely different styles of play. I mean, how was that for you as a goalkeeper? What were the main differences?
Well, the main difference, obviously, is the structure, because Arsenal way is more about playing with the ball, technical football, and obviously you play with a defensive structure, but it's not as tight as with Jose. So, obviously I enjoyed playing in the team that was really, their mind was on, doing the defensive job well, but I enjoyed playing for both. I have to say although they are really, the approach is different, one thing they have in common, they are bad losers, I have to say. Both of them are the same in terms of that.
Which manager or system suited you best?
I really enjoyed the 2 years with Carlo Ancelotti, because it was a good balance between playing really good football but being well organized.
Okay, for a top Premier League goalkeeper, what are the essential things you need?
Mental strength, the ability to concentrate and accept that mistakes are part of the process, and I would say reading of the game, because it makes a huge difference. If you can be on time, in the right place at the right time, that's already a big win for you.
Those qualities you're talking about, you'll know them more than anyone, being one of the best goalkeepers the Premier League's ever seen. Who right now encapsulates all those qualities that you're talking about in the Prem?
Alisson, he's doing really well, and it's the guy for Liverpool. Ederson, it's not as visible, and everybody talks about his obviously distribution, but he makes important saves. He doesn't have to do much, but he makes important interventions, and he's very important in the team. And they are the two obvious ones, and obviously we seen the change in Arsenal, but Emi Martinez is another one. When you look at Emi, the way he, since he left Arsenal and started playing for Aston Villa, he became #1 in Argentina, world champion. Obviously, he really went to the right direction, and he's doing really well.
Which current Premier League manager would you love to play for?
I think Pep Guardiola is an obvious choice. Jurgen Klopp is another obvious choice. And if I take the rest of the managers, I think you know, when you see the current Tottenham manager, you know, then Ange actually, he seems like a really interesting character to play for.
Right, you've got the clean sheet record in the Premier League. Is there any goalkeeper you think could take that? I mean, how close is Ederson and Alisson? Do you look at things like that? Are you worried about that?
I don't worry about that. I think this one I don't have to worry for some time. But it's a long journey to get to 202. It's a really long, consistent journey, and it's becoming harder and harder. So I think it's going to be a huge effort from anyone. First, the goalkeeper will have to come quite early into the Premier League, because I started when I was 22, and I left and I finished when I was 37. So it takes some time as well to build up the games, and my ratio was almost clean sheet every other game. It's very close to clean sheet to every other game, so it makes some doing too. So you know, you need to have both of these together to get there, and consistency and staying fit, and it's not an easy task.
How do you think goalkeeping has evolved since you came to the Premier League, as you said, at 22, you finished at 37? It must have evolved then, and you look at it now and what clubs are wanting, certainly in terms of goalkeepers playing with the feet.
Well, football evolves. So as football evolves, the goalkeeper role changes too. And you know, in the past, like most of the times, you had teams who wanted to play direct, and the role of the goalkeeper was to start the game by a really good long kick. You know, you find a striker, you find a winger, you find someone, and you get on from there. And obviously, main role was, okay, catch as many balls as you can and make as many saves as you can. But if you look, like when I was a kid, first time I saw Edwin van der Sar in Ajax, they started playing with him, and everybody was like, oh wow. And then you look and you think, actually, there will be a day where it's going to be used. But now I think we're reaching the point where it's overused. That I see in many teams I see that the defender can make the same pass, and they just like easily throw it to the goalkeeper, and then they have to deal with that. But
so you're saying you think we've gone actually too far the other way, where now we're judging goalkeepers fiercely almost with the feet, and then talking about the saves or the catches?
I don't know. If you look at it, like a good example is the Man City Champions League final when they won against Inter. Yeah, so it was not the best game Ederson played with his feet. He had a couple of passes. He went even out of the. It was unusual for him, but he made 4 big saves, and it made them win. So in the end of the day, I think the goalkeeper needs to make those saves, and it should be the priority. And of course, when you play, you know, from the back, you need to be, you know, able to do that. You need to be able to do that, but it should not be your priority. It should not be just about that. Can you play? Okay, you can go. No, you should be. Can you save? Yes. Can you help us with the possession? You are in the right place. Right.
Final question. Best save of your career and why?
Well, the best save of my career is not the one which is particularly the nicest, but it was the Champions League final penalty save in the extra time, because you know this one goes in, the game's over. So obviously the meaning of that save is probably the biggest you know, save of my career. Okay, it's not the nicest save I have with my backside, but nobody cares.
I was at the game. I was there watching. I was devastated when you saved that.
I was happy.
Yeah,
that all
matters.
That's all that matters.